Today for us to start doing some standing and some fighting to back that
up. Sometimes the concept of, being accepted, being rejected, all of those types of things can really cause some issues. And right now, I think I want to bring a focus and, to mental health and talk about how success and failure can affect Black mental health, man. So what y'all think about that?
I'll say overall, because I'm glad you brought this up, because I'm saying that, like, this generation deals with a lot of depression, all these little funny stuff that we didn't go through growing up, all these little diseases, and people are wondering why. Well, you just said it. Success and failure is based off fame and repute. So now your success is how many followers you have, how many, and if you think about it, back in the days, we only saw, my inner circle. So if I was hanging out with Nate and Shaka, your jacket would determine whether I like those jackets. Your hat, your car. Now we see everybody's jackets, everybody's car, and everybody's faking like they live a great life. So you, as a child in this generation or a young person, is scrolling every day through a social media, looking at stuff that's telling you where you're not and what you don't have. You're not meeting the success level that is in this, that this social media says you're not pretty enough, you're not rich enough. You're seeing that every day. I can't have that. I can't have that. I can't have that. I want that. I want to be there. I want to visit there. And you don't have none of that. How would that not create depression if you're doing that every single day of your life, all day long?
Can I ask that?
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, so I agree. You know what I'm saying? Like, social media, when you think about like how suicide rates amongst African Americans, right? Like, at one point it was damn near non-existent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that just wasn't something we did, right? Like, that wasn't something that would happen. But like, as social media started happening, like, we've been able to like see how everyone judges us, trolls and da 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 da. You like, you could bully folks through social media and stuff like that. Like, all of those different things is what's creating like stress on our kids. Because like you said, this is what they're doing all day on their phones, you know what I'm saying, on social media. And some of us are too, so we get caught up in a world that isn't really our world. Like, at one point we used to have regional styles. Like, like, this is what we do in Jersey. This is what we do in Brooklyn. This is what we do in here, there. It's hard to even see how folks are keeping up with that because everything is online. You get a chance.
I have a question to ask everybody here. What's your measure of success? First Nate answer, and then Shaka answer. What's your measure of success?
Honestly, to answer that question, I'm glad you say that. I look at it based on every endeavor. It's not just like,
absolutely.
It's not based on like my life in general. But I look at it like, it first off start with me having an expectation. Like, if I don't have if I don't have something that's already set as a goal, like, this is when I get to it. Like, for the show, for instance, right now we're building this show and my goal is to have a growing audience. I don't have a number for that yet, but I'm going to look at how we have the numbers for the first week and the numbers for the second week, the third week, the fourth week. It might go down a little bit, but my expectation is that the numbers for the first week and the numbers for the seventh week are different. And that the number on the other side is higher. You know what I'm saying? And so that would be when I would say that that's a success. Now, I have to look at failure as a lesson, and I have to learn from that and look at, like, if I don't get that number, then what was it that took me away from that number? Because I can guarantee you, if I beat the number that I had in my mind, I'm not going to start learning anything. So I actually think that a certain amount of failure is important for me personally. I don't try to get caught up in whether I succeeded or failed at something. I look at all of it for good and what I can learn from it.
I agree. I think like failure, you need failure in order to succeed. You need to know what failure looks like, right? You don't necessarily have to have failure. You can see it, right? In order to know what success needs to be, right? You think about so many families, like I've had, like, when you see like your dad or your mom might have gone through some serious stuff, whether it been like drug abuse, whatever, right? And you see what they went through, and you're like, okay, that's not something I want to go through, right? Achievement, right? Achieving something, breaking curses, generational curses. That's success to me, right? Being able to do things like that because that connects back to the past, that
Right.
connects back to who I am and how I can help in the future so that my generations like after me don't have to face that.
Right. And for me, success is happy. And I'm going to give you not fake happiness, not the happiness you can find if you go smoke a crack rock, and because you'll be happy for that hour that you high or the but not real happiness. And I say success is real happiness. For instance, my mother, she lived in the system whole life. She lived on welfare. That's how we made it, you know. And somebody from a wealthier family would say, you know, that's not very successful. But Nate knows me. Nate, I have slept on Nate's couch at times in life, and me and Nate have been roommates at times.
Yeah.
Because happiness is first to me. So if I'm not going to work, I'm not going to go do a 9 to 5 that I'm not happy at, no matter what. I'd rather sleep on somebody's couch and pay the minimal because that's my level of happiness. Now somebody else's level of happiness is having a bedroom and a bed and a this, and then that's their level of happiness. But for me, it's the happiness of contentment. Nate knows I never complained once sleeping on your couch. And I had one of the biggest, one of the nicest places in Midtown Atlanta, and it was all the same. So happiness is basically, like you're seeking financial gain for financial happiness to be able to do what you want to do in life or provide or stuff like that.
Exactly. And it's so important to kind of like, when you ask the question of what is success, I do think about it in two different ways when I see that word, because you can think about, were you successful in an endeavor, and would you also think about it of, are you a success? Now, when I think about, am I a success? I think about that as, all of the decisions that I make on a daily basis coincide with all of the plans that I have for my future. You know what I'm saying? So that means, like, if I'm doing something today that's going to block me from the future that I intend to have, it's hard for me to call myself a successful person. Or call myself a success. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, learning how to make everything that you do coincide with the goals that you set forward for yourself is the best way to live. That's what a culture is. You know what I'm saying?
Now, look, I agree with you. And check this. Imagine somebody who got a college degree, right? Got their job that they always wanted, worked at 9 to 5, got a family and stuff like that, but still works like check to check. Then you got somebody who never been to college, not one day in his life, you know what I'm saying, but found out a great idea, an invention, and then put all of his energy into that and made it a success and is now a millionaire, right?
Right.
Who's the successful one?
Right.
Well, I went to college.
Success? Can they be success in their own right? Or is the one that made the money and didn't go to college more successful than the guy that went to college, doing what he wants to do, but like living check to check?
And another great one for what you're saying too is like a Jake Paul. So Jake Paul is 2-0. He's made millions off of boxing. Is he more successful than somebody who had a successful boxing career, who didn't make as much money, who's not undefeated, but they were a real boxer and they had a great career and didn't get what he got out of the sport?
There's real people, because you're right, because there's real boxers out here in the world that have never made $600,000 for a fight, and they still out here fighting every day, getting beat up in sparring sessions with headaches. Do you know what it's like to go to fight for a living, the life of a person who fought, what you feel like after that?
Right.
That's your lifestyle.
And you're a warrior. You know what I'm saying? You're a warrior. And like, it doesn't matter whether you did it professionally, whether you did it like, cause this is what you like to do. People who have a calling to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whether just like karate, like that has to be like a lifestyle, like, something that you live. You know what I'm saying? It's like a warrior type
You
of
don't
life.
want to be broke.
But you don't want to be broke. You're right. You don't
It
want to be broke.
depends.
There's some people who don't mind.
Some people are doing it because
that.
they don't want to be broke. Some people are not warriors at all, and they get on there because they say UFC is popular, people making money, they see the money, they see the top 2 people, and they don't see the rung of people below that lose, that are just in there, and they out there trying to, be a part of the scene. They don't realize that half of them not making enough money to feed their families, and they're on TV. You know what I'm saying? So
we Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, sometimes what we consider like famous, some of those people still have a broken lifestyle. So when you think about broke, it's not like you want to use that word in a bad way, but like something that you're doing is breaking your ability to reach your goals. You know what I'm saying? And it's usually something about what you're doing. It's not about who you are, but like people who do drugs to the point where they can't make enough money to live, you know, in a home. You know what I'm saying? Like that's broke because your attitude and your culture, your way of living is broken. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, there's so many, like when you talk about broke, like what we talking about, broken spirit, broken
Right.
in money,
Broken heart.
you know what I mean? Broken heart. Like broke is that's a concept, you know, where you are without, right? Right.
Right.
You have depleted, you know, a certain level of that, you know what I mean? But you might have a great deal of the other one, right?
Right.
Have a great deal of spirit, right? But not have any wealth and be richer than the person who had the wealth who didn't have the spirit the next
Right.
time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like stuff like that can fluctuate. And so like having wealth of spirit, you know, I think is important.
Right. And that's the answer to the question. Success is subjective.
It
It's
is.
all about whose watching it, whose eyes is coming out.